Have you ever wondered why some people seem to command respect the moment they open their mouths? What is it about their words that make others stop, listen, and truly value what they say? The truth is, it's not just about what they say, it's how they say it. Words are more than sounds strung together. They are tools of transformation, bridges that connect hearts and minds. And today, you're going to learn how to use those tools to earn the respect you deserve. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a secret strategy used by one of the most respected figures in the world, a reward for sticking around until the very last word. Think about it. Every single day we communicate, whether it's at work, at home, or even in our own thoughts. Words shape our reality. They can build someone up or tear them down. They can inspire action or sow seeds of doubt. But here's the thing. Most people don't realize the immense power they hold every time they speak. Imagine if you could harness that power, not to manipulate, but to uplift, to lead, and to be heard. Imagine walking into a room knowing that your voice matters, that your perspective carries weight, and that people will naturally lean in when you talk. That's not magic, it's skill, and skills can be learned. The journey to earning respect starts with understanding something fundamental about human psychology. People crave authenticity and authority. When someone speaks with conviction, it triggers a deep-seated response in us. Our brains are wired to follow those who exude confidence because, on a primal level, we associate certainty with safety. This doesn't mean shouting louder than everyone else or dominating conversations. No, real authority comes from speaking with purpose, knowing exactly what you want to convey and delivering it with clarity and intention. It's about making every word count. But let's pause for a moment. How often do you find yourself speaking without thinking? Maybe you've been in a meeting where you rambled nervously, hoping no one would notice. Or maybe you've tried to express an idea only to see eyes glaze over. We've all been there. And it happens because we forget one crucial element: preparation. Respect isn't given freely, it's earned through effort. Just like any great performer rehearses before stepping onto the stage, so must you prepare before opening your mouth. Not just rehearsing what to say, but how to say it. Tone, pace, and delivery. They all play a role in capturing attention and holding it. Now here's the beautiful part. Anyone can master this. Yes, anyone. You don't need charisma handed down from birth or decades of experience under your belt. All you need is the willingness to grow and the discipline to practice. Because when you start speaking with purpose, something incredible happens. People begin to see you differently. They start treating you differently. Doors open, opportunities arise, and suddenly you're not just another voice in the crowd. You're the one leading the conversation. So, as we dive deeper into this topic, remember this: the way you speak shapes the way people perceive you, and perception becomes reality. Are you ready to take control of that narrative? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll uncover a game-changing insight that has helped countless individuals rise above mediocrity and step into greatness. Keep watching and you'll discover exactly how to transform your words into weapons of influence and earn the respect you've always wanted. Now that we've established the undeniable power of words, let's take a moment to reflect on why earning respect through communication is so vital. Think about the last time someone truly listened to you. Really listened. How did it make you feel? Valued, important, maybe even understood for the first time in a long while? That's the magic of respect in action. It transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful connections, and when you communicate in a way that commands respect, you're not just speaking, you're building trust, credibility, and influence. But here's the deeper truth. Respect isn't just about how others treat you, it's about how they see themselves when they're around you. Human psychology reveals that people subconsciously mirror those they admire. When you speak with confidence and purpose, you elevate the energy of everyone in the room. You inspire them to rise to your level. This isn't arrogance, it's leadership. It's showing up as the best version of yourself. And in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. Imagine walking into any situation knowing that your presence alone has the power to uplift and motivate. That's what happens when respect becomes the foundation of your communication. Let's talk about relationships for a moment. Whether it's personal or professional, every relationship thrives on mutual respect. Have you ever noticed how some individuals seem to effortlessly navigate conflicts, turning potential arguments into productive discussions. They don't raise their voices or resort to manipulation. They simply speak with authority and empathy. Their words carry weight because they understand the balance between strength and compassion. This ability doesn't come from luck. It comes from recognizing that respect is earned by valuing others while staying true to yourself. And then there's opportunity. Opportunities don't knock randomly. They follow patterns. People who command respect often find doors opening for them without having to push too hard. Why? Because humans are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and clarity. When you speak with intention, you signal to the world that you're ready to lead, to contribute, to make an impact. Employers notice it. Friends admire it. Even strangers feel it. Your words become a magnet, attracting chances to grow, succeed, and shine. But here's the catch. Respect isn't automatic. It requires effort. It demands consistency. And most importantly, it starts with understanding its significance. Too many people go through life thinking respect will come naturally if they work hard enough or stay quiet long enough. But silence rarely earns respect. It often invites neglect. On the flip side, speaking without substance can lead to being dismissed. The key lies in striking the perfect balance, saying what needs to be said at the right time in the right way. This brings us back to the idea of connection. At its core, communication is about bridging gaps. Every word you utter has the potential to either close the distance between you and another person or widen it. When you prioritize respect in your speech, you create bridges built on trust and authenticity. You show others that their thoughts matter, even if you disagree. You demonstrate that you value the exchange of ideas over winning argument, and in return, they begin to value you. Not just your words, but who you are. Think about the ripple effect this creates. One respectful conversation leads to another. One genuine interaction builds upon the next. Over time, you cultivate a reputation as someone worth listening to, someone whose opinion carries weight, someone who commands respect without demanding it. And once you reach that point, everything changes. Conversations flow smoother. Challenges become easier to overcome. Success feels less like a distant dream and more like an inevitable outcome. So ask yourself, are you communicating in a way that fosters respect? Are your words building bridges or creating barriers? Remember, every sentence you speak shapes how the world sees you and how you see yourself. If you want to unlock the full potential of your voice, you must embrace the importance of respect. It's not just a nice-to-have quality. It's the cornerstone of effective communication. As we continue exploring these principles, keep this thought close to your heart. Respect isn't given, it's earned, one word at a time. And you hold the pen to write your story. Stay with me, because the journey is just beginning, and the rewards are greater than you can imagine. Now that we've explored the importance of respect in communication, let's dive into the foundation of it all. Self-belief. Because here's the truth, before anyone else can respect you, you must first respect yourself. Respect starts from within. It begins with the quiet confidence that whispers to your soul, I am enough. Without this inner belief, even the most carefully chosen words will fall flat. People can sense hesitation, doubt, and insecurity, and when they do, they instinctively pull back. But when you stand firm in your worth, the world takes notice. Think about it. Have you ever tried to convince someone of something while secretly doubting it yourself? Maybe you were pitching an idea at work or sharing a personal goal with a friend. If there was even a hint of uncertainty in your voice, chances are they didn't fully buy into it. That's because belief is contagious. When you believe in yourself, others can't help but catch the spark. On the other hand, if you're unsure of your value, no amount of polished language or perfect delivery will compensate for that lack of conviction. Your mindset shapes your tone, your energy, and ultimately how people perceive you. This isn't just motivational talk. It's rooted in human psychology. Studies show that confidence triggers what's called the halo effect. When someone radiates self-assurance, we naturally assume they're competent, trustworthy, and worthy of admiration. It's not fair, but it's how our brains work. We're wired to follow those who appear certain, even if their certainty is all they have going for them. So imagine what happens when you combine genuine self-belief with meaningful communication. You become unstoppable. But here's where many people stumble. They wait for external validation to feel worthy. They think, once I achieve this milestone, once I get that promotion, once someone tells me I'm good enough, then I'll believe in myself. The problem with this approach is simple. It puts your power in someone else's hands. What if that milestone never comes? What if the promotion doesn't happen? Are you willing to delay your self-worth indefinitely? Of course not. True confidence doesn't rely on outside approval. It comes from within. It's about deciding right now that you are capable, valuable, and deserving of respect, regardless of what anyone else says or does. Let's break this down further. Believing in yourself doesn't mean pretending to be flawless. No one expects perfection, least of all the people around you. In fact, vulnerability, the willingness to admit mistakes and embrace imperfections, can actually strengthen your credibility. What matters is owning your journey, owning your strengths and weaknesses, owning the fact that you're a work in progress, but you're moving forward anyway. This kind of authenticity resonates deeply with others because it reminds them of their own humanity. And when you speak from that place of raw honesty, people listen, not out of pity, but out of admiration. So how do you cultivate this unshakable belief in yourself? Start by silencing the inner critic that tells you you're not good enough. That voice isn't your enemy. It's just fear disguised as logic. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. But here's the thing, fear only has power if you let it. Every time that negative voice tries to creep in, replace it with a positive affirmation. Remind yourself of past victories, no matter how small. Celebrate the progress you've made, not just the destination you're striving for. Confidence grows when you acknowledge how far you've come, not just how far you still need to go. Another powerful tool is visualization. Picture yourself succeeding. See yourself speaking with clarity and authority, commanding the room's attention. Feel the surge of pride as others respond with respect and admiration. Visualization isn't wishful thinking, it's mental rehearsal. Athletes use it to prepare for competition. Entrepreneurs use it to plan for success, and leaders use it to inspire action. When you vividly imagine yourself achieving greatness, your brain begins to accept it as reality. And when you act from that place of certainty, others can't help but follow. Remember, believing in yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's not about puffing up your ego or dismissing feedback. It's about recognizing your inherent value and refusing to settle for anything less than the respect you deserve. When you walk into a conversation knowing your worth, it shows. Your posture straightens, your voice steadies, your words carry weight, and suddenly people start treating you differently, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. This shift won't happen overnight, and that's okay. Building self-belief is a process, not a destination. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's part of the journey. But every step you take toward trusting yourself brings you closer to earning the respect you crave. So keep going. Keep growing. Keep reminding yourself that you are capable of more than you realize. As we move deeper into these principles, hold on to this thought. Belief is the bedrock of everything. Without it, even the strongest words crumble under pressure. With it, even the simplest sentences can move mountains. You already have what it takes to command respect. You just need to believe it. And when you do, the world will have no choice but to agree. Now that you've embraced the power of self-belief, it's time to channel that confidence into your words. But here's the critical question. Are you speaking with purpose or simply filling the air with noise? Too often, we fall into the trap of talking just to be heard, without considering the impact of what we're saying. Words without intention are like arrows shot blindly. They may hit something, but rarely the target. When you speak with purpose, however, every word becomes a deliberate step toward connection, influence, and respect. Let's pause for a moment and think about the conversations you've had recently. How many of them were truly meaningful? How many left a lasting impression on you or the person you were speaking with? If you're honest, you might realize that much of what we say is reactive. Responses to questions, filler phrases to avoid awkward silence or attempts to fit in. There's nothing wrong with casual conversation, but if you want to command respect, you need to rise above the noise. You need to make every word count. Speaking with purpose starts with clarity. Before you open your mouth, ask yourself, what is my goal here? Are you trying to inform, inspire, persuade, or connect? Knowing your objective gives your words direction. It transforms aimless chatter into focused communication. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't start hammering nails without a blueprint. Similarly, when you have a clear intention behind your speech, people can sense it. They feel the weight of your words because they know you're not wasting their time or yours. But purpose isn't just about knowing what to say. It's also about knowing when to say it. Timing is everything. Have you ever been in a situation where someone interrupted or spoke out of turn, only to derail the entire conversation? Or perhaps you've seen someone wait patiently for the right moment to contribute, and when they did, everyone listened. That's the difference between speaking to fill space and speaking to add value. Respectful communication requires patience and awareness. It means reading the room, understanding the emotions at play, and choosing your moments wisely. Here's another layer to consider. Purpose-driven speech isn't just about logic, it's about emotion. Human beings are wired to respond to feelings more than facts. A well-reasoned argument might win debates, but an emotionally resonant message wins hearts. When you speak with purpose, you tap into this truth. You don't just present information, you tell stories, evoke imagery, and create experiences through your words. This doesn't mean you have to be dramatic or over the top. Sometimes the simplest phrases carry the deepest emotional weight. The key is authenticity, letting your genuine passion shine through. Now let's address a common misconception. Speaking with purpose doesn't mean you always have to sound profound or poetic. Some of the most impactful communicators use plain language, but they do so intentionally. They strip away complexity to get straight to the core of their message. Why? Because clarity breeds trust. When people understand exactly what you're saying, they're more likely to believe in what you're offering. And belief leads to respect. So don't overcomplicate things. Instead, focus on being concise, direct, and sincere. Another powerful aspect of purposeful communication is accountability. When you speak with intention, you take ownership of your words. You don't blame others for misunderstandings or shy away from difficult truths. You stand by what you say, even when it's uncomfortable. This level of responsibility earns admiration because it shows integrity. People respect those who are willing to face challenges head-on rather than sidestep them with empty rhetoric. Your words become a reflection of your character, a testament to who you are and what you stand for. Of course, mastering purposeful speech takes practice. It requires mindfulness and discipline. Start by paying attention to your daily interactions. Are you contributing meaningfully, or are you just going through the motions? Challenge yourself to pause before responding. Take a breath. Gather your thoughts and ensure your words align with your intentions. Over time, this habit will become second nature. You'll find yourself naturally gravitating toward purposeful expression, and others will notice the difference. Remember, purpose isn't static. It evolves with each conversation. What works in one context might not work in another. The key is adaptability. Be flexible enough to adjust your approach while staying grounded in your overarching goal: to communicate with clarity, conviction, and care. When you do this consistently, you create a ripple effect. People begin to associate you with substance rather than superficiality. They seek out your input because they know it will be thoughtful and valuable. As we continue exploring these principles, hold on to this idea. Your words are tools, and tools are only as effective as the hands that wield them. When you speak with purpose, you transform ordinary sentences into instruments of change. You inspire action, foster connection, and earn the respect you deserve. Every word you utter has the potential to shape minds, touch hearts, and leave a legacy. So choose wisely, speak boldly, and never forget that the greatest gift you can give someone is the gift of meaningful communication. You're already on the path to becoming someone whose voice commands attention. Now that you understand the importance of speaking with purpose, let's talk about the one element that can make or break your message: tone. Words alone are powerful, but without the right tone, they risk falling flat, or worse, being misunderstood. Tone is the invisible thread that weaves emotion into your speech. It's what turns a simple sentence into a moment of connection, a spark of inspiration, or a call to action. And when mastered, it becomes your secret weapon for earning respect and influence. Think about the last time someone's tone left an impression on you. Maybe it was a boss who spoke with calm authority during a crisis, or a friend who offered comfort with just the right mix of warmth and reassurance. How did their tone affect you? Did it make you feel heard, supported, motivated? Chances are their words stuck with you not because of what they said, but how they said it. This is the magic of tone. It speaks directly to the heart, bypassing logic and appealing to our deepest emotions. It's why two people can say the exact same thing, yet one inspires trust while the other invites doubt. But here's the challenge. Tone isn't something most of us consciously think about. We focus so much on crafting the perfect message that we forget how we deliver it matters just as much, if not more. Studies in human psychology show that tone accounts for over 30% of how we interpret communication, far outweighing the actual words themselves. This means that even the most well-intentioned message can lose its impact if delivered with the wrong tone. A harsh tone can come across as aggressive, no matter how kind the intent. A monotone delivery might signal disinterest, regardless of how passionate you feel inside. The good news, once you become aware of this, you can harness tone to amplify your message instead of undermining it. So how do you master tone? Start by recognizing its dual nature. It's both a reflection of your inner state and a tool to shape the listener's perception. When you're calm and centered, your tone naturally conveys confidence and control. But when you're anxious or frustrated, those emotions seep into your voice, often sending unintended signals. This is why self-awareness is crucial. Before you speak, take a moment to check in with yourself. Are you grounded? Are you approaching the conversation from a place of empathy and clarity? If not, pause, breathe, reset, because the tone you project will always mirror the energy you carry within. Another key aspect of mastering tone is balance. Too soft and you risk sounding uncertain. Too loud and you may come off as domineering. The sweet spot lies in finding a tone that's firm yet approachable, strong yet compassionate. This balance creates a sense of safety for the listener. It tells them, I'm here to lead, but I'm also here to listen. People crave leaders who exude strength without intimidation, who command attention without demanding submission. When your tone strikes this equilibrium, it builds bridges rather than walls. Let's dig deeper into the emotional layers of tone. Every conversation carries an emotional undertone, whether it's excitement, urgency, gratitude, or concern. The trick is aligning your tone with the emotion you want to convey. For example, if you're sharing an idea meant to inspire hope, your tone should be uplifting and energetic. If you're addressing a sensitive issue, it should be gentle and empathetic. Matching your tone to the emotional context ensures your message lands exactly where you want it to. It's like painting with sound. You choose the colors that best express the mood you're aiming to create. One of the most overlooked aspects of tone is pacing. How fast or slow you speak can dramatically alter how your words are received. Speaking too quickly can overwhelm your audience, making it hard for them to absorb your message. On the other hand, speaking too slowly might cause them to lose interest. The key is modulation, varying your pace to match the rhythm of the conversation. Use pauses strategically to let important points sink in. Speed up slightly to build momentum during exciting moments. Slow down to emphasize critical ideas or evoke thoughtfulness. Pacing keeps your audience engaged and gives your tone a dynamic quality that holds their attention. Finally, you remember that mastering tone isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. There's no single right way to speak. What works for one person might not work for another. The goal is to develop a tone that feels true to who you are while resonating with those around you. This requires practice and patience. Record yourself speaking. Pay attention to how others respond and adjust accordingly. Over time, you'll refine your ability to use tone as a tool for connection and influence. As you continue honing this skill, keep this truth close to your heart. Tone is the bridge between your words and their impact. It transforms intention into action, ideas into movements, and conversations into relationships. When you master it, you unlock a level of communication that commands respect effortlessly. So step into every interaction with awareness, with purpose, and with the understanding that how you say something matters just as much as what you say. You're already building the foundation for meaningful, impactful communication. Now that you've begun to master the art of tone, let's turn our attention to something equally powerful: body language. Even though this is a faceless video, it's essential to understand that your energy doesn't just come from your voice, it radiates through every part of you. And while people may not see you in this moment, they can still feel your presence through how you carry yourself. Your posture, gestures, and even the way you breathe influence the way your words land. Body language isn't just about what others see, it's about what you project into the world, whether visible or not. Think about the last time you spoke with someone who seemed completely disengaged. Maybe their shoulders were slouched, their voice lacked energy, or they fidgeted nervously. How did it make you feel? Did you find yourself zoning out, losing interest, or questioning their credibility? Now contrast that with someone who stood tall, made deliberate movements, and exuded calm confidence. Chances are you were drawn to them, hanging on every word they said. That's the power of body language. It communicates far more than words ever could. It tells others whether you're confident, trustworthy, and fully present, or if you're unsure, distracted, and disconnected. Here's the science behind it. Research shows that over half of human communication is nonverbal. While we often focus on what we say, the way we hold ourselves shapes how our message is perceived. When your body aligns with your words, you create harmony between what you're saying and how you're saying it. This alignment builds trust because it signals authenticity. But when there's a mismatch, like speaking confidently while slouching or avoiding eye contact if seen, it creates confusion and undermines your authority. The lesson here is simple. Your body must support your voice even when no one is watching. Let's break this down further. Posture plays a critical role in how you sound. Standing or sitting up straight opens your chest, allowing for deeper breaths and clearer vocal projection. It also sends a signal to your brain that you're ready to take charge, boosting your confidence in real time. On the other hand, poor posture restricts airflow, making your voice weaker and less commanding. It also triggers feelings of fatigue and self-doubt, which subtly seep into your tone. So before you speak, check your stance. Imagine a string pulling you upward from the top of your head, aligning your spine and grounding your feet. Feel the shift in your energy, and notice how much stronger your voice becomes. But body language isn't just about posture, it's about intentionality and movement. Gestures, for example, can add emphasis to your words or distract from them. When used purposefully, hand motions amplify key points, creating visual anchors for your message. They help paint pictures in the listener's mind, making your ideas more memorable. However, excessive or random gestures can have the opposite effect, pulling focus away from your words. The key is moderation. Let your hands naturally complement your speech without overwhelming it. If you're practicing for a face-to-face setting, record yourself to ensure your movements enhance rather than hinder your delivery. Breathing is another cornerstone of effective body language. Have you ever noticed how nervousness makes your breathing shallow and uneven? This not only affects your tone, but also signals anxiety to those around you. Deep, controlled breaths, on the other hand, steady your nerves and give your voice a rich, resonant quality. They also slow down your pace, giving listeners time to absorb your message. Try this exercise. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle a few times before speaking and feel the calm wash over you. This simple practice primes your body to communicate with clarity and poise. Even in a faceless format like this, your physical state influences your vocal presence. When you stand tall and grounded, your voice carries authority. When you slump or sit passively, your energy dips and so does your impact. So even if no one sees you, treat every conversation as if they do. Visualize yourself standing confidently, owning the space around you. Picture your words flowing outward with purpose, reaching the hearts and minds of those listening. This mental imagery will translate into tangible results, enhancing both your tone and your overall delivery. One final note on body language: it's contagious. Just as emotions spread through facial expressions, your physical energy transfers through your voice. A relaxed yet alert posture creates a sense of ease and focus, inviting others to mirror that state. Conversely, tension or discomfort can make listeners uneasy, even if they can't pinpoint why. By embodying the energy you want to inspire in others, you become a conduit for connection and respect. As you integrate these principles into your communication, remember this: body language isn't an afterthought, it's the foundation of impactful speech. It amplifies your message, reinforces your confidence, and ensures your words resonate deeply. Every gesture, every breath, every subtle shift in posture contributes to the impression you leave behind. So step into each interaction with awareness, not just of what you say, but of how your entire being supports it. You're already learning to command respect through your voice. Now, by aligning your body with your intentions, you'll elevate your communication to new heights. Now that you've learned how body language amplifies your words, let's explore the art of silence, a tool so powerful, yet often overlooked. In a world obsessed with constant noise, silence stands out. It's not just the absence of sound, it's the presence of intention. When used wisely, silence becomes a force multiplier for your message. It gives weight to your words, allows ideas to breathe, and creates space for others to process what you've said. Pausing isn't passive. It's one of the most active choices you can make in communication. Think about the last time someone paused during a conversation. Did it grab your attention? Did it make you lean in, eager to hear what came next? That's the power of silence at work. Human psychology shows that we're wired to fill gaps. When someone stops speaking, our brains instinctively focus on why. A well-timed pause acts like a spotlight, drawing emphasis to the words before and after it. It transforms ordinary sentences into moments of significance, turning fleeting thoughts into lasting impressions. Silence doesn't weaken your message, it strengthens it. But here's the truth. Most people are afraid of silence. They fear it will come across as hesitation or awkwardness, so they rush to fill every gap with words. The result? Their message gets buried under a flood of unnecessary noise. Instead of commanding respect, they dilute their impact by overwhelming their audience. This is where mastery comes in, learning to embrace silence as an ally rather than an enemy. When you pause, you give yourself time to think, to breathe, and to ensure your next words carry purpose. And when others sense this deliberate calm, they naturally sit up and take notice. Let's break this down further. There are three key ways silence enhances communication: clarity, emotion, and authority. First, clarity. Have you ever listened to someone who speaks nonstop without pausing? Chances are their message became a blur of information, hard to follow or remember. By contrast, a speaker who pauses allows their audience to digest each point before moving on. It's like serving a meal, one course at a time instead of dumping everything onto the plate at once. When you let your words settle, you give listeners the chance to absorb and reflect, ensuring your message sticks. Next, emotion. Silence amplifies feeling. Imagine delivering a heartfelt statement about overcoming adversity, then letting the room sit in stillness for a moment. That pause allows the weight of your words to sink in, evoking empathy and connection. It's in those quiet moments that people feel, not just hear, what you're saying. Emotion thrives in silence because it gives space for personal interpretation. Your audience begins to internalize your message, making it their own, and when they do, your words become unforgettable. Finally, authority. Great leaders understand the value of restraint. They know that speaking less often makes their voice more impactful when they do speak. A pause signals confidence. You're not scrambling to prove yourself. You're secure in your message. It also commands attention. People instinctively associate silence with importance, so when you stop talking, they assume what follows must matter. This subtle shift in dynamics elevates your status, positioning you as someone whose words demand respect. So how do you incorporate silence into your speech? Start by identifying natural breakpoints in your message, the moments where emphasis is needed or reflection is encouraged. Then consciously insert a pause. Count silently to 2 or 3 in your mind if it helps. Resist the urge to rush forward. Trust that the silence is working for you. Over time, these pauses will feel less awkward and more intentional, becoming second nature in your delivery. Another technique is using silence to recover composure. If you stumble over a word or lose your train of thought, don't panic. Take a deep breath, allow a brief pause, and continue. This not only steadies your nerves, but also projects calm under pressure, a hallmark of true confidence. Remember, silence isn't a mistake, it's a strategy. Even the greatest communicators rely on it to maintain control of their narrative. Here's one final insight. Silence isn't just for you, it's for your audience too. In conversations, it invites participation. By leaving room for others to respond, you show that you value their input. This fosters mutual respect and deepens the connection between you. Whether you're leading a meeting, giving a presentation, or simply having a meaningful discussion, strategic pauses create opportunities for collaboration and understanding. As you practice the art of silence, keep this principle close to heart. Sometimes the strongest statement you can make is no statement at all. Pausing isn't about withholding, it's about enhancing. It's about giving your words the space they need to resonate deeply and linger long after you've finished speaking. Every moment of silence is a gift to both you and your listener, allowing meaning to unfold in its own time. You're already learning to wield tone, posture, and purpose like a master communicator. Now, by embracing silence, you'll add another layer of depth to your voice, one that captivates, inspires, and commands respect effortlessly. Trust the power of the pause and watch as your words transform into something extraordinary. Now that you've mastered the art of silence, let's shift our focus to another cornerstone of impactful communication: listening. True respect isn't earned by dominating conversations. It's built through understanding. Listening is more than just hearing words. It's about absorbing emotions, intentions, and unspoken truths. When you listen deeply, you show others that their thoughts matter, creating a foundation of trust and mutual respect. And when people feel heard, they naturally gravitate toward you, ready to follow your lead. Think about the last time someone truly listened to you. How did it make you feel? Valued, understood, perhaps even empowered? That's the magic of active listening. It transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful connections. Human beings crave validation, and nothing validates like genuine attention. But here's the catch. Most people don't listen. They wait to speak. They're so focused on formulating their response that they miss the essence of what's being said. This not only weakens the conversation, but also signals disinterest, leaving the other person feeling dismissed or undervalued. Active listening flips this dynamic. It requires presence, giving your full attention to the speaker without distractions. Put away your phone, silence internal chatter, and focus solely on the person in front of you, or behind the voice if speaking virtually. Lean in slightly, nod occasionally, and maintain an open posture. These small gestures signal engagement, showing that you're fully invested in the exchange. Even in a faceless format like this, listeners can sense when you're truly present versus simply going through the motions. Your energy speaks volumes, but active listening goes beyond body language. It's about empathy. Empathy is the ability to step into someone else's shoes and see the world through their eyes. When you listen empathetically, you don't just hear words. You pick up on subtle cues like tone, pace, and emotion. Is the speaker excited, frustrated, or hesitant? Are they seeking advice, support, or simply a safe space to vent? By tuning into these nuances, you position yourself as someone who understands, not just hears. And understanding is the first step toward influence. Here's where many people stumble. They confuse listening with agreeing. Active listening doesn't mean you have to adopt someone else's perspective. It means you respect their right to express it. You acknowledge their feelings, validate their experiences, and respond thoughtfully. This creates a safe environment for honest dialogue, fostering deeper relationships and earning lasting respect. People are far more likely to trust and admire someone who listens to understand rather than listens to reply. Another powerful aspect of listening is its role in leadership. Great leaders know that wisdom lies in asking questions, not always providing answers. By listening intently, you gather insights, uncover hidden challenges, and identify opportunities for growth. You empower others to contribute their ideas, making them feel valued and respected. This collaborative approach not only strengthens teams, but also elevates your status as a leader worth following. After all, the best leaders aren't those who talk the most, they're those who listen the hardest. So how do you cultivate this skill? Start by practicing patience. Resist the urge to interrupt or jump in with solutions. Let the speaker finish their thoughts completely before responding. If clarification is needed, ask thoughtful questions that invite elaboration. For example, instead of saying, "I get it," try, "Can you tell me more about that?" This demonstrates curiosity and encourages deeper exploration of the topic. Over time, these habits will become second nature, transforming you into a master listener. Listening also sharpens your own communication. When you pay close attention to how others express themselves, their choice of words, their emotional undertones, their pauses, you gain valuable lessons in effective speech. You learn what resonates, what inspires, and what alienates. This awareness allows you to refine your own delivery, ensuring your message aligns with your audience's needs and expectations. Finally, remember that listening isn't passive, it's an act of service. Every time you give someone your undivided attention, you're offering them a gift, the chance to be seen and heard. In return, they reward you with trust, loyalty, and respect. These qualities are the bedrock of strong relationships, whether personal or professional. And when you combine active listening with everything else you've learned, tone, purpose, body language, and silence, you create a communication style that commands admiration effortlessly. As you continue honing this skill, keep this truth at the forefront. Leadership begins with listening. The more you invest in understanding others, the more they'll invest in following you. Respect isn't given, it's earned, one attentive moment at a time. So lean in, stay curious, and embrace the power of listening. Because when you truly hear others, they'll naturally want to hear you too. You're already building the tools to communicate with authority and authenticity. Now, by mastering the art of listening, you'll unlock a level of connection that few achieve. Now that you've embraced the power of listening, let's talk about another essential element of earning respect: authenticity. In a world obsessed with perfection, being genuine is your greatest advantage. People don't connect with flawless personas. They connect with real human beings. When you strip away the need to impress and simply show up as yourself, you create a bond that no amount of polish can replicate. Authenticity isn't just a trait, it's a choice, a decision to be vulnerable, honest, and unapologetically you. Think about the people you admire most. What makes them stand out? Chances are, it's not their ability to say or do everything perfectly. It's their willingness to be transparent, to admit when they don't have all the answers, and to share their true selves without pretense. This raw honesty resonates deeply because it reminds us of our own humanity. We're drawn to those who reflect our struggles, hopes, and imperfections back at us, not as weaknesses, but as strengths. Authenticity builds bridges because it says, I'm not afraid to be me, and you shouldn't be afraid to be you. But here's the challenge. Many people equate authenticity with exposure, fearing that showing vulnerability will make them appear weak. The opposite is true. Vulnerability takes courage. It requires stepping into discomfort and trusting that others will respond with empathy rather than judgment. When you speak from the heart, sharing your truth instead of hiding behind a mask, you signal confidence. You demonstrate that you're secure enough in who you are to let others see the real you. And this kind of self-assurance commands respect like nothing else. Authenticity also cuts through noise. In a sea of rehearsed speeches and carefully curated images, sincerity stands out. People can sense when someone is being genuine versus performing for approval. They feel it in your tone, your energy, and the way your words align with your actions. This alignment creates trust, which is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. When you're authentic, you stop trying to convince others of your worth, you simply live it. And when others recognize that you're not playing a role, they naturally gravitate toward you. So how do you cultivate authenticity in your communication? Start by letting go of the need to please everyone. Trying to meet every expectation is exhausting and ultimately impossible. Instead, focus on staying true to your values and beliefs. Speak from a place of conviction, even if it means standing alone. Remember, respect isn't earned by fitting in, it's earned by standing out. When you prioritize integrity over popularity, you attract people who value you for who you truly are. Another key aspect of authenticity is consistency. Your words should match your actions, and your actions should reflect your character. Nothing undermines respect faster than hypocrisy, saying one thing while doing another. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Mistakes are part of being human. But owning up to those mistakes and learning from them reinforces your credibility. It shows that you're committed to growth, not perfection. And when people see that commitment, they trust you more deeply. Let's address another common misconception. Authenticity isn't about oversharing or dumping your emotions onto others. It's about discernment, knowing what to share, when to share it, and with whom. Being authentic means respecting boundaries, both yours and others. It's about finding the right balance between openness and professionalism, ensuring that your vulnerability enhances the conversation rather than derailing it. This thoughtful approach ensures that your authenticity strengthens connections instead of overwhelming them. Here's the psychological truth behind why authenticity works. Humans crave relatability. We want to know that we're not alone in our struggles, fears, and dreams. When you share your story, the highs and the lows, you give others permission to embrace their own. This mutual exchange fosters loyalty and admiration because it creates a shared sense of belonging. People don't follow perfection, they follow purpose. And purpose shines brightest when it's rooted in authenticity. As you practice this principle, remember that authenticity isn't something you achieve, it's something you embody. It's not about crafting a narrative or presenting a polished version of yourself. It's about showing up fully, flaws and all, and trusting that your uniqueness is your strength. Every time you choose honesty over image, vulnerability over vanity, and truth over trend, you reinforce your identity and deepen your impact. You're already learning to communicate with clarity, empathy, and intention. Now, by embracing authenticity, you'll add a layer of depth to your voice, one that resonates on a soul level. Keep leaning into who you are, imperfections and all, because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original, you. And when you dare to be yourself, others won't just hear you, they'll believe in you. Stay true, stay bold, and watch as your authenticity becomes the cornerstone of the respect you've always wanted to earn. Now that you've embraced the power of authenticity, let's explore a delicate balance that separates respected leaders from those who alienate others. Confidence without arrogance. Confidence is magnetic. It draws people in and inspires trust. Arrogance, on the other hand, repels. The difference lies not in how much you believe in yourself, but in how you express that belief. True confidence uplifts both you and those around you, while arrogance creates division and resentment. Mastering this balance is key to commanding respect without losing connection. Think about the people you admire most. What makes their confidence so appealing? It's not just their ability to speak with authority or take decisive action, it's the humility they bring to every interaction. They don't need to dominate conversations or prove their superiority because they already know their worth. Their confidence isn't rooted in comparison. It's grounded in self-awareness. This quiet assurance invites others to rise alongside them rather than feel diminished by their presence. That's the hallmark of genuine confidence. It empowers rather than intimidates. But here's the challenge. Confidence and arrogance often walk a thin line. Both involve believing in your abilities, but arrogance takes it a step further by asserting superiority over others. Arrogant individuals may demand attention, dismiss differing opinions, or belittle others to elevate themselves. These behaviors might temporarily boost their ego, but they erode trust and respect over time. People don't follow arrogance, they tolerate it until they can escape its shadow. Confidence, however, builds bridges. It says, I'm capable and so are you. It celebrates collective success rather than individual triumph. So how do you cultivate confidence without crossing into arrogance? Start by focusing on contribution, not competition. Confident communicators aren't concerned with proving they're the smartest person in the room. They're focused on adding value. They ask questions, seek input, and acknowledge the strengths of others. By shifting your mindset from how can I stand out to how can I serve, you naturally exude confidence that feels inclusive rather than intimidating. This approach not only earns respect, but also fosters collaboration and loyalty. Another powerful way to avoid arrogance is through gratitude. Gratitude keeps confidence grounded by reminding you of the support, lessons, and opportunities that have shaped your journey. When you express appreciation for mentors, teammates, or even challenges, you signal humility. You show that you understand no one succeeds alone. This acknowledgement doesn't diminish your achievements, it amplifies them by framing them within a larger context of growth and community. Gratitude transforms confidence into something relatable, making it easier for others to connect with you. Let's talk about language for a moment. And the words you choose reveal whether you're coming from a place of confidence or arrogance. Confident communicators use we more than I. They emphasize shared goals and mutual progress, reinforcing the idea that everyone has a role to play. Arrogant individuals, by contrast, default to I, highlighting their contributions while downplaying the efforts of others. Pay attention to your pronouns. Do they reflect teamwork and unity, or do they center solely on yourself? Small shifts in language can make a big difference in how your confidence is perceived. Body language also plays a crucial role in striking this balance. Confident posture, standing tall, maintaining eye contact if visible, and using purposeful gestures projects assurance without aggression. Arrogance, on the other hand, often manifests as overbearing dominance, leaning too far forward, interrupting frequently, or dismissing nonverbal cues from others. Even in a faceless format like this, your energy translates vocally. A calm, steady tone conveys confidence, while a rushed or overly forceful delivery risks coming across as arrogant. Remember, true confidence doesn't need to shout. It speaks softly yet firmly, knowing its voice will be heard. Here's another layer to consider. Confidence without arrogance listens as much as it speaks. It seeks feedback, values diverse perspectives, and adapts when necessary. Arrogance clings rigidly to its own views, unwilling to entertain alternative ideas. By staying open to learning and growth, you demonstrate that your confidence isn't fragile, it's resilient. This flexibility strengthens your credibility and deepens the respect others have for you. Finally, remember that confidence isn't about having all the answers. It's about being comfortable with uncertainty. No one expects you to know everything. In fact, admitting what you don't know can enhance your authority by showing intellectual honesty. Arrogance pretends to have all the solutions, while confidence embraces curiosity and continuous improvement. When you model this mindset, you inspire others to adopt it too, creating an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute. As you work to embody this principle, keep this truth close to heart. Confidence without arrogance is a gift to yourself and to others. It allows you to lead with integrity, build meaningful relationships, and leave a legacy of empowerment. Every time you choose humility over hubris, service over self-promotion, and collaboration over competition, you reinforce the kind of leadership that commands lasting respect. You're already mastering the art of communication with purpose, authenticity, and empathy. Now, by balancing confidence with humility, you'll unlock a level of influence that few achieve. Now that you've learned to balance confidence with humility, let's delve into one of the most powerful tools in communication: storytelling. Stories are more than just words. They're emotional bridges that connect hearts and minds. When you tell a story, you don't just share information, you create an experience. You make people feel something, and when people feel, they remember. They engage, they act. That's why the greatest communicators throughout history have always relied on storytelling. It's the universal language of connection. Think about the moments in your life that have stayed with you. Chances are they weren't just facts or figures, they were stories. A teacher who inspired you with a personal anecdote, a friend who moved you with their struggles and triumphs, a leader who painted a vision so vivid you could almost see it. These stories didn't just inform you, they transformed you. They tapped into your emotions, shaping how you saw yourself and the world around you. This is the power of storytelling. It turns abstract ideas into tangible experiences, making them unforgettable. But here's the key. Effective storytelling isn't about grandeur or complexity. It's about authenticity and relatability. The best stories are often simple. Moments of vulnerability, resilience, or hope that resonate deeply because they reflect shared human experiences. Whether you're speaking to a room of thousands or having a one-on-one conversation, the goal is the same: to evoke emotion. Emotion drives action. It's what motivates people to listen, to trust, and ultimately to follow. So how do you craft a story that moves others? Start by identifying the core message you want to convey. What's the lesson, insight, or feeling you want to leave behind? Once you know this, wrap it in a narrative, a beginning, middle, and end that brings it to life. For example, instead of saying, "Perseverance leads to success," share a moment from your own journey where persistence paid off. Describe the challenge, the doubt, and the breakthrough. Let your audience walk alongside you, experiencing the highs and lows. When you do this, your message becomes more than advice, it becomes inspiration. Another critical element of storytelling is sensory detail. Help your listeners visualize the scene by appealing to their senses. What did it look like, sound like, feel like? Even in a faceless format, these details create a vivid picture in the mind, immersing your audience in a moment. For instance, instead of saying, "I was nervous before my big presentation," describe the knot in your stomach, the dryness in your throat, and the way your hands trembled as you adjusted the microphone. These specifics make your story real, allowing others to step into your shoes and feel what you felt. Let's talk about pacing. Just as silence enhances speech, pauses enhance storytelling. They give your audience time to absorb each part of the narrative, building anticipation and emotional impact. Don't rush through your story. Let it unfold naturally. Savoring the tension and resolution. Use tone to guide their emotions, lowering your voice for reflective moments and raising it for climactic ones. This dynamic delivery keeps your audience engaged, turning your story into an experience they won't forget. One of the most overlooked aspects of storytelling is its ability to humanize you. When you share a story, especially one that reveals vulnerability, you show others that you're not just a speaker, you're a person. You've faced challenges, made mistakes, and grown stronger because of them. This honesty fosters trust and admiration because it reminds people that greatness isn't born, it's built through struggle. And when they see themselves in your journey, they begin to believe they can achieve greatness too. Stories also serve another purpose. They simplify complex ideas. Have you ever tried to explain a concept only to see confusion in someone's eyes? Now imagine wrapping that concept in a story. Suddenly, the abstract becomes concrete. For example, instead of lecturing on the importance of teamwork, tell a story about how collaboration helped overcome a seemingly impossible challenge. Stories bypass resistance and skepticism, speaking directly to the heart. They make even the most difficult truths easier to accept and act upon. Finally, remember that storytelling isn't limited to personal anecdotes. You can draw from history, literature, or current events to illustrate your point. The key is relevance. Choose stories that align with your message and resonate with your audience. Whether it's a tale of perseverance, courage, or innovation, ensure it reinforces the values or lessons you're trying to impart. Every story should leave your listeners thinking, what does this mean for me? As you practice this art, keep this principle close to heart. People may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Storytelling allows you to touch emotions, spark imagination, and ignite change. It transforms ordinary communication into extraordinary connection, so lean into your experiences, embrace vulnerability, and craft narratives that inspire action, not just agreement. You're already mastering the skills to communicate with clarity, empathy, and purpose. Now, by harnessing the power of storytelling, you'll add a layer of depth that captivates and moves others. Keep telling your truth, because every story you share has the potential to light someone else's path. And when you make them feel something, you'll leave a mark that lasts long after the words fade. Now that you've unlocked the power of storytelling, let's address one of the biggest barriers to commanding respect, the fear of judgment. This invisible force holds so many people back from speaking their truth, sharing their ideas, or stepping into their full potential. It whispers doubts in your ear, telling you that others will criticize, reject, or misunderstand you. But here's the truth. Everyone faces this fear, even the most confident communicators. The difference lies in how they respond to it. By learning to overcome this fear, you'll free yourself to communicate with authenticity and authority, earning the respect you deserve. Think about the last time you hesitated to speak up. Maybe it was during a meeting, in a conversation with a friend, or even when expressing your opinion online. What stopped you? Was it the worry that your words wouldn't be good enough? That someone might judge you harshly? Or perhaps the fear of being wrong or looking foolish? These fears are natural. They stem from our deep-seated need for acceptance and belonging. But while they may protect us from imagined risks, they also prevent us from seizing real opportunities. Every time you silence yourself out of fear, you rob the world of your unique voice and yourself of growth. The first step to overcoming this fear is understanding its roots. Judgment doesn't come from others. It starts within you. When you're overly concerned about what people think, it's often because you're judging yourself first. You assume others will see your flaws, mistakes, or insecurities, but more often than not, they're focused on their own struggles. Human psychology shows that we tend to overestimate how much attention others pay to us, a phenomenon known as the spotlight effect. In reality, most people aren't scrutinizing you as closely as you imagine. They're too busy navigating their own lives to dwell on yours. So how do you break free from this cycle? Start by shifting your focus from external validation to internal conviction. Remind yourself why your voice matters. Not because it pleases others, but because it reflects who you are. Your perspective, your experiences, your insights, they all have value. When you anchor your confidence in this truth, the opinions of others lose their power to intimidate you. Yes, some people may disagree or critique you, but that's not a reflection of your worth. It's simply part of being human. Not everyone will resonate with your message, and that's okay. Respect isn't about universal approval. It's about staying true to yourself. Another powerful strategy is reframing failure as feedback. Fear of judgment often stems from the belief that making mistakes equals rejection. But here's the reality. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. They're stepping stones on the path to mastery. Instead of fearing criticism, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this experience? When you adopt this mindset, judgment becomes less threatening and more constructive. It stops being something to avoid and starts being something to embrace. Let's talk about courage for a moment. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite it. Every time you choose to speak up, even when your heart is racing and your palms are sweaty, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than your doubts. And each small victory reinforces your ability to face bigger challenges. Over time, the fear of judgment diminishes, not because it disappears, but because you realize it no longer controls you. You begin to see it for what it truly is, a fleeting emotion, not a permanent obstacle. Here's another layer to consider. Judgment often comes disguised as expectations, both from others and from yourself. Society tells us to conform, to fit neatly into predefined roles or standards. But true respect is earned by breaking free from those constraints and embracing your individuality. When you stop chasing perfection and start celebrating progress, you give yourself permission to be imperfectly brilliant. People don't admire flawless facades. They admire raw authenticity. So let go of the pressure to meet unrealistic ideals and focus instead on showing up fully, exactly as you are. Finally, remember that overcoming fear is a process, not an event. It won't happen overnight, and that's perfectly fine. Start small. Share your thoughts in low-stakes environments where the stakes feel manageable. Gradually push yourself out of your comfort zone, whether it's contributing more in group discussions, voicing your opinion on challenging topics, or simply saying no when it aligns with your values. Each step forward builds momentum, empowering you to tackle larger fears with greater ease. As you work through this journey, keep this thought close to your heart. The only way to truly fail is to stay silent. Your voice has the power to inspire, to challenge, and to change. When you silence it out of fear, you deny the world and yourself the chance to grow. But when you speak boldly, authentically, and unapologetically, you create ripples of impact that extend far beyond what you can see. Respect isn't given to those who play it safe. It's earned by those who dare to stand tall, even in the face of uncertainty. You're already mastering the tools to communicate with purpose, empathy, and confidence. Now, by confronting and conquering the fear of judgment, you'll unlock a level of freedom that transforms not just your communication, but your entire life. Now that you've taken the courageous step of confronting your fear of judgment, let's talk about what truly cements all these skills into habits: practice. You've heard the saying, practice makes perfect, but here's a more accurate truth: practice makes permanent. What you repeatedly do becomes ingrained in who you are, and when it comes to communication, consistent effort transforms good intentions into lasting impact. Every word you rehearse, every pause you refine, and every story you craft brings you one step closer to mastering the art of commanding respect. Think about any skill you admire, whether it's playing an instrument, excelling at sports, or delivering a flawless performance. Behind every seemingly effortless display of talent lies countless hours of deliberate practice. Communication is no different. The ability to speak with clarity, confidence, and authenticity isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through repetition and refinement. Each time you practice, you strengthen the neural pathways that make these behaviors second nature. Over time, what once felt awkward or forced becomes fluid and natural. But here's the key: not all practice is created equal. Mindless repetition won't yield the results you want. It's purposeful practice that drives growth. This means setting specific goals for improvement, seeking feedback, and pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. For example, if you struggle with tone, record yourself speaking and listen critically to areas where you can soften or emphasize certain phrases. If storytelling feels challenging, write out a few narratives and practice delivering them with emotion and pacing. By focusing on targeted improvements, you ensure that each session moves you closer to mastery. One of the most effective ways to practice communication is through daily exercises. Start by reading aloud, even if it's just a paragraph from a book or article. Pay attention to how your voice flows, how you handle pauses, and how you convey emotion through inflection. Then, take it a step further. Summarize what you read in your own words, imagining you're explaining it to someone else. This not only sharpens your articulation, but also trains you to distill complex ideas into relatable language, a hallmark of impactful communication. Another powerful exercise is role-playing conversations. Picture scenarios where you might need to assert yourself, share your perspective, or navigate conflict. Practice responding with calm authority, using the techniques you've learned: tone, body language, active listening, and storytelling. Even though no one else may be present, this mental rehearsal prepares you for real-life interactions. It builds muscle memory, so when the moment arrives, you'll respond instinctively with poise and confidence. Let's address another critical aspect of practice: consistency over intensity. It's better to dedicate 10 minutes every day than to cram hours of effort into one session per week. Small, steady progress compounds over time, creating profound change. Set aside time each day to work on your communication skills, whether it's journaling your thoughts, practicing vocal delivery, or reflecting on past conversations to identify areas for improvement. Treat it like brushing your teeth. a non-negotiable part of your routine that keeps your communication healthy and strong. Feedback is also essential to effective practice. While self-assessment is valuable, external perspectives provide insights you might miss. Seek trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues who can offer constructive criticism. Ask them to evaluate your tone, clarity, and overall presence. Be open to their input, not defensively, but as an opportunity to grow. Remember, feedback isn't a reflection of failure, it's a tool for refinement. The greatest communicators are lifelong learners, always striving to improve. Here's the psychological truth about practice. It builds resilience. Every time you push through discomfort, whether it's speaking up when you'd rather stay silent or revisiting a conversation that didn't go well, you train your brain to associate effort with reward. You prove to yourself that growth comes from persistence, not perfection. This mindset shift empowers you to embrace challenges instead of avoiding them, knowing that each hurdle is shaping you into a stronger, more confident communicator. Finally, celebrate your progress along the way. Too often we focus solely on the end goal, forgetting to acknowledge the milestones we achieved. Did you successfully navigate a difficult conversation? Celebrate it. Did you deliver a story that resonated deeply with someone? Take pride in it. These moments of recognition fuel motivation, reminding you why the journey is worth it. Progress isn't linear, but every step forward counts. As you commit to practicing these principles, keep this thought close to heart. Mastery isn't a destination, it's a process. Every word you speak, every pause you take, and every story you tell contributes to the masterpiece of your communication style. With each repetition, you're not just improving, you're evolving. You're becoming someone whose voice carries weight, whose presence commands respect, and whose message inspires action. You're already building the foundation for extraordinary communication. Now, by embracing the discipline of practice, you'll transform potential into power. Now that you've committed to the discipline of practice, let's talk about another crucial element in your journey toward commanding respect: the environment you create for yourself. The people, thoughts, and energy surrounding you shape who you are and how you communicate. If you want to speak with confidence, authenticity, and authority, you must surround yourself with positivity, because negativity stifles growth while encouragement fuels it. Your circle matters more than you might realize, and choosing uplifting influences is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Think about the moments when you felt drained or discouraged after spending time with certain individuals. Maybe they criticized your ideas, dismissed your efforts, or focused solely on problems without offering solutions. How did those interactions leave you feeling? Small, uncertain, or unmotivated? Now contrast that with times when you were around people who believed in you, celebrated your progress, and inspired you to reach higher. Chances are their positivity ignited a spark within you, a sense of possibility and purpose. This isn't coincidence, it's human nature. We absorb the energy of those around us, whether consciously or not. And if you're constantly exposed to negativity, it seeps into your mindset, dimming your confidence and clouding your potential. But here's the empowering truth: you have control over who and what influences you. You get to decide who earns a seat at your table and whose energy aligns with the person you're striving to become. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean avoiding challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means seeking out people and environments that uplift rather than tear down, that challenge you to grow rather than hold you back. These are the relationships and spaces where your best self thrives. So how do you cultivate a positive environment? Start by evaluating the company you keep. Are the people in your life building you up or breaking you down? Do they encourage your dreams, or do they sow seeds of doubt? While no relationship is perfect, healthy connections should leave you feeling supported, valued, and motivated to pursue your goals. If someone consistently drains your energy or undermines your confidence, it may be time to set boundaries or distance yourself entirely. Remember, respect begins with self-respect, and protecting your mental and emotional well-being is non-negotiable. Beyond personal relationships, consider the content you consume. What books, podcasts, or media fill your mind? Are they inspiring and educational, or do they breed fear, comparison, or cynicism? The information you take in shapes your perspective, so choose wisely. Fill your world with messages that reinforce growth, resilience, and possibility. Seek out stories of triumph, lessons from leaders, and insights that expand your thinking. Over time, this intentional consumption will rewire your mindset, replacing self-doubt with self-belief. Let's also address the role of self-talk in creating positivity. Your inner dialogue is the voice you hear most often, and its tone sets the foundation for how you show up in the world. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, you'll project that same harshness outward, undermining your ability to connect authentically with others. On the other hand, if you speak kindly to yourself, if you celebrate small wins, forgive mistakes, and affirm your worth, you'll radiate that same warmth and confidence in your communication. Practice reframing negative thoughts into constructive ones. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," remind yourself, "I'm learning and growing every day." This simple shift transforms your internal environment, paving the way for external success. Another key aspect of positivity is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, fostering a mindset of appreciation and optimism. When you regularly acknowledge the good in your life, the support of people, the opportunities, the lessons learned, you train your brain to seek out more of it. This habit not only boosts your mood, but also enhances your communication. A grateful heart speaks with kindness, humility, and sincerity, qualities that naturally command respect. Finally, remember that positivity isn't passive. It's a choice you make daily. Life will inevitably present challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But even in those times, you have the power to frame adversity as an opportunity for growth. By maintaining a positive outlook, you inspire others to do the same. People are drawn to those who see possibilities instead of obstacles, who lead with hope instead of fear. And when you embody this mindset, you become a beacon of light in a world that desperately needs it. As you work to surround yourself with positivity, keep this principle close to your heart. Your environment reflects your priorities. If you prioritize growth, connection, and joy, you'll attract those qualities into your life. But if you allow negativity to dominate, it will overshadow everything else, including your ability to communicate with impact. Choose wisely, because the energy you nurture becomes the foundation for all you achieve. You're already mastering the tools to speak with purpose, authenticity, and confidence. Now, by cultivating a positive environment, you'll amplify these skills, creating a ripple effect that touches every interaction you have. Now that we've explored the power of positivity and its role in shaping your communication, let's bring this journey full circle. Everything you've learned, from mastering tone and body language to overcoming fear and practicing relentlessly, has been building toward one ultimate goal: helping you step into your fullest potential. The tools are in your hands, the path is clear, and now it's time to take ownership of the incredible communicator you were always meant to be. Because here's the truth: you already have what it takes. You just need to believe it and act on it. Think about how far you've come since the beginning of this video. You started by recognizing the power of words, then embraced self-belief as the foundation for earning respect. You learned to speak with purpose, listen deeply, and balance confidence with humility. You discovered the art of storytelling, faced your fears, and committed to consistent practice. And finally, you surrounded yourself with positivity, ensuring that your environment supports the growth you're striving for. Each step has prepared you to communicate not just effectively, but authentically, with a voice that commands attention and inspires action. But knowledge without action is like a ship without sails. It may float, but it won't move forward. Now is the moment to put everything into motion. Start small if you need to, but start today. Whether it's practicing a single conversation with intention, sharing a story that reflects your journey, or simply reminding yourself of your worth before speaking, every effort counts. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. And with each step you take, you'll find your confidence growing, your connections deepening, and your impact expanding. Let me leave you with this final thought: respect isn't given, it's earned through the courage to show up as your true self. When you speak with authenticity, people don't just hear your words, they feel your conviction, they see your strength. They recognize the value you bring to the table. And when you combine that authenticity with the skills you've developed, there's no limit to the influence you can create. So trust yourself, trust the process, and trust that every word you speak has the power to shape minds, touch hearts, and change lives, including your own. Before we close, I want to thank you for investing your time and energy into this journey. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Why? Because when you share these principles with others, you amplify their impact. Someone in your circle might need exactly what you've gained today: a reminder that they have the ability to transform their communication and in turn their life. Together, we can inspire a ripple effect of growth, connection, and empowerment. And here's my call to action for you. Commit to one actionable step right now. Maybe it's recording yourself speaking to identify areas for improvement. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who uplifts and encourages you. Or maybe it's simply taking 3 deep breaths before your next conversation to center yourself and speak with purpose. Whatever it is, write it down, say it aloud, and hold yourself accountable. Small actions lead to big changes, and I know you're ready to make them happen. Remember, this isn't the end, it's the beginning of a new chapter. Every interaction you have from this point forward is an opportunity to practice, grow, and shine. Keep refining your skills, keep embracing challenges, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. The world needs your voice, the real, unfiltered, powerful version of it. Don't let fear, doubt, or negativity silence you. Stand tall, speak boldly, and watch as the respect you've worked so hard to earn becomes a natural part of your presence. You've got this. You were built for greatness, and now you're equipped to achieve it. So go out there and speak in a way that leaves a mark, not just on others, but on yourself. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for daring to become the best version of yourself. Until next time, keep pushing forward, because the journey doesn't stop here. It only gets better from here. Take care, stay inspired, and remember, you have what it takes.